Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into Dr. Joe Dispenza's incredible book, Becoming Supernatural. We're going to break down its roadmap for how you can move beyond your current self and step into a pretty extraordinary new reality. Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it with this quote. The central idea here is that history is just full of stories of regular, everyday people doing things that totally defy what we think is possible. This isn't about being some chosen one. It's about tapping into a potential that's actually lying dormant inside all of us. The entire book really revolves around this one powerful question. It's asking us to seriously consider that our inner world, our thoughts and our feelings, has a direct, measurable impact on our outer world. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a whole framework for creating your own life. To bring this idea to life, the book tells this amazing story about the Tibetan yogi Milarepa. He famously showed that reality isn't as solid as we think by literally pushing his hand into a rock wall, leaving a perfect handprint. The message, it's a profound one. The only limits we really have are the ones we believe in. Alright, so if we've all got this incredible potential, what's the deal? What's holding us back? Well, according to the book, most of us are basically prisoners of our own past. We're living in this self-created loop, just reliving what we already know over and over again. And get this is the staggering statistic that explains why we're so stuck. The book claims that by the time we're in our mid-30s, a whopping 95% of who we are, our thoughts, our behaviors, our emotional reactions, is all running on a subconscious automatic program. Think about that. That means we're only consciously present for about 5% of our day. And that autopilot, well, that's what the book calls a habit. It's when you've done something so many times, like you've worried about money or you've felt angry in traffic, that your body has actually memorized that emotional state. It doesn't even need your conscious mind anymore. The body literally becomes the mind, just running that same old program on its own. This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? This is the core conflict. Most of us are living over there on the left, in the known. Our future is just a predictable remix of our familiar past. Our body is running the show and we're stuck in survival mode. The whole goal is to cross over to the right side, into the unknown, where a totally new future is possible, where your mind is back in control and you can start operating from a place of creation. So, how in the world do we break free? Well, this is where the book gets into the how-to. It proposes this mechanism for how we actually create our reality. And it's not just philosophy. It's presented as the science of how your inner world literally builds your outer world. Here's the model in its simplest form. Think of it like this. Your thoughts are like an electrical signal that you send out into the universe, into this quantum field of possibilities. And your feelings are the magnetic charge that draws experiences and opportunities back to you. The combination of how you think and how you feel creates your state of being, and that is what generates your personal reality. Okay, so if our thoughts and feelings are the cause, then that's our key, right? That's the solution. If we can consciously change them, we can break free from the programs of the past and start designing a new future on purpose. And this right here is the formula. This is the engine of the whole thing. It takes a clear, focused intention, that's your electrical charge, and combines it with a powerful, elevated emotion, that's your magnetic charge. You can't just think about what you want. You have to feel the emotions of it as if it's already happened. And the main tool for doing this is a specific type of meditation. It's a 3-step process. First, you disconnect from your outer world, your body, the people around you, the concept of time, so you stop broadcasting that same old signal. Second, you get crystal clear on an intention for a new future. And third, you teach your body what that future feels like emotionally before it ever manifests. Now, this is super important. We're not talking about just any old emotion here. The book really emphasizes what it calls elevated emotions, feelings like gratitude, joy, inspiration, and awe. They're described as having a higher energetic frequency, the frequency of creation. All those familiar survival emotions like fear, anger, and guilt, they carry a lower frequency that just keeps us chained to our past. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds great, but does it actually work? Well, the book is packed with data and some really compelling stories to show that yes, these principles can produce measurable and sometimes, well, miraculous results. For example, just look at these numbers. In only 4 days of practicing these meditations, people at workshops showed a nearly 50% average increase in immunoglobulin A. That's a critical protein that makes your immune system super strong. This shows that by changing your emotional state, you can create real, tangible, positive biological changes in your own body. And then you hear these unbelievable stories, like Jenny's. This woman suffered from horrible back pain for 2 years. She was literally a week away from major surgery. But in one single meditation, where she felt completely whole and connected, her pain just vanished, and it never came back. Or how about Tim's story? He stopped focusing on his feelings of lack and really worked on feeling the elevated emotion of worthiness. Shortly after, a customer came into his shop and just gifted him $110,000 in gold and silver coins, the exact symbol of wealth he'd been using in his meditation. So, the book then zooms out. It asks a bigger question. If one person can change their personal reality by creating this inner coherence, what happens when thousands of people do it at the exact same time? And this is the incredible idea behind what's called Project Coherence. The book actually points to peer-reviewed studies that have shown a real correlation between large groups meditating on peace and measurable drops in global crime and terrorism. The idea is that a collective, coherent energy can actually have a positive, calming effect on the whole planet. And so, here's where we land. The book lays out this whole roadmap, a practical guide to move from a predictable past into an unknown, exciting future. It offers the science on the tools, but it ultimately leaves the final provocative question up to us. Now that you know how, what future are you going to create?